professional live we've done up until now. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
for
going on,
sure.
man? What's going on your side?
It's the same old
Yeah.
stuff. You know,
You're
we're
out
out
here.
here.
I know you started like a new project. What's that based on?
Yeah, so I don't want to get too in the weeds, but
Yeah. Okay. So it's it. Uh-huh.
so
No, it's about
yeah, go ahead.
like PSU about drinks.
Yeah, it like energy drink reviews. I just found like they're super low competition keywords, nothing crazy. But I'm not writing any of this myself. It's all through like I'm using Ariel Phoenix's bulk
Yeah.
publishing spreadsheet. Purchased that
Okay.
a few weeks ago. Got kind of in the weeds, figured it out. Using OpenAI, the OpenAI API, and I think I had like 300 some odd posts written, following like a very strict criteria for like $25, probably like 1,500
Oh,
words
I see.
each.
Actually, for people that don't know what the bulk publishing sheet is, do you want to explain kind of what it is?
Yeah, so I mean, it's it's not complicated. I don't think it's anything anybody couldn't do themselves. But all she's doing is creating it basically a Google Sheets document that is connected to the OpenAI API. She has a few built-in prompts, which are pretty beneficial. I've edited a lot of them to kind of fit what I need. But yeah, it's I found code that can do that, but I'm like, I don't want to have to sit there and try to edit this and figure it out, blah blah blah. So I was like, yeah, I can just pay for it, and then you know I'll
Right.
use her version. Like I said, it's working so far. Getting a slow trickle of impressions, a few clicks
Mhm.
over through the search engines, but it's been
Got
less
it.
than a week. So
So what you did was you found a niche that was some opportunity. Then you use this Google Sheets that has OpenAI embedded into it, and you kind of created a questions column. I'm assuming like a prompt, like a what the topic is about, and then the sheet kind of fills in the answers, and then you took that answers into WordPress.
yeah, so it's like a super funky concatenate with a few prompts built in. So it'll be like, write it'll be like write 3 paragraphs about
Mhm.
this, write with like it's human written, first person, blah blah blah, and then it'll just take that prompt and apply it to whatever the
Yeah.
question or whatever is, and it'll spit out 3 paragraphs. The bottleneck, at least from on my end, is cleaning up the generated text. I go in there with Grammarly and add special stuff, videos. I added a unique video to every single page that is directly related to the query. But yeah, it's that's why I can only publish. Well, I only want to or choose to publish like 10, maybe 15 a day. I could sit there and jam out the whole thing in like a week, but I'm like, I'd
Right.
rather play video games.
So the videos you're talking about, you record them and then you put them on for per topic.
No,
Oh, it's
no,
just
no.
some YouTube video about that topic that you link up. Okay,
Yeah,
I see.
yeah,
That's interesting because
yeah,
like I would assume that, or I would like try to record my own videos, but it's definitely much faster to just like see if that video from like an existing video, kind of put that on the page, see if what pages get impressions, and then go in and record the ones that are getting most traffic. Just like iterate on it. Probably a better way of doing it.
yeah. That's a great strategy, but I don't really see this site as being something that's super like in my portfolio for
Right.
long term. This is something I want to make. I want to probably sell it in 12 to 18 months. It's really monetized in my in ways that I typically don't monetize sites with, like the Amazon affiliates and a lot of display
Right.
ads. So this is just definitely one that's being built to flip. Hence why, hey, if I can spend $25 on 300 articles, and if it works, it works. If not,
Yeah, it's a
okay.
great case study of like, I think people always ask us, both of us, is, can we just like create content using AI? So I think what you're doing is having that case study of like, there's a topic, there's an easy way of coming up with the content, and let's just see if this works. If this works, great. If it doesn't, then
Yeah.
you go back to the drawing board and say, we have something definitive to say that AI text might not work, or this is a reason why it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I always have my other sites, that are really established and really just kind of consistently making money or making more money every month. So I can kind of branch off and
Yeah.
experiment a
Funny
little bit
enough, I'm
here.
trying to do something similar as well. Using like I'm trying to see. So I found a topic. Actually, let me just share what I'm doing. So what I did was I have a website called sassbase.dev. And what it is like tutorials on like making a SaaS. So I've spent the last 2 years writing 30 articles by hand. But sorry, give me 1 second. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
there's an echo in the behind me. Do you hear it too? Okay, it
I
might
don't
just be
hear it.
me. Anyways, let's just yeah. So
Did you did you turn on in the
I
sound
have
settings? Did you turn on like echo
I didn't.
cancellation? Okay, never mind
Let
then.
me try if I can find something. Anyways, I'll just go through the thing. But yeah, so there's 35 manually written articles here. But like the traffic that's there, let me just show you the traffic. It's about 100 people coming in every day. See, that's 30 days. Yeah, around 100 people. But I think it can
Hmm.
do a lot better. So what I want to do is actually apply a programmatic strategy to this domain because it's been aged. It has customers coming in or people coming in, and there's like opportunities here. So one of the opportunities I'm actually before even so it's built on Ghost or it was built on Ghost, and now I've moved it to Next.js. The reason for that is with Ghost you can't have like connect PSU. You can't create PSU pages first with Ghost Blog, so it's like a no go from the start. So that's why I moved it to something coded, which is Next.js, and now I'm going to start adding in those PSU pages. The first opportunity that I identified is if I just go to Hrefs, um, like books. So books is a big one. So if I do like project management books, the difficulty is not that high. And books on like these startup type topics, like books on marketing, books on sales, books on raising funding, all these things have pretty good, like the volume is really great. The keyword difficulties are right. I should be able to beat that with my like site. So what I'm basically looking to do is grab a ton of books and create pages like top 10 books you should read if you're a product manager, right? Top 10 books you read if you're looking to sell your SaaS, all those kind of things. But I don't want to sit down and write these things myself. So I'm going to use AI or ChatGPT for this. The way I'm doing it is I just played around with it. I haven't I don't have a full build yet, but I'm saying like uh, give me give me 5 books on startups, right? So I'll have a list of 5 books. Okay. Okay. So now I have the books, I'm gonna say like categorize them with startup topics. Categorize maybe these books. Yeah, so it's able to give me like really detailed categories like that. So now I can have pages like top 10 books on product development and innovation, top 10 books on entrepreneurship and business
Right.
strategy. And then actually, I think you can get it to go even further with the categorization, even more ingrained. So once I have these ones, then I can say for the lean startup, generate a why should a founder maybe start a founder, read the book, explain in 3 bullet points. So it's able to like come up with these 3 topics that are not, or sorry, 3 different bullet points of like why someone should read it. This is different from like the top results that are for these keywords. They're like the summary of the book, and the summary of the book doesn't make sense. It doesn't tell you like why you should be reading it. It tells you what the book is about, which is not the same thing. So this
Right.
is a my way of coming up with these um, different content that is directly correlated to how my audience thinks, so I can like, give them or sell them these books or like get them traffic. And so what I also from after I did this, I then went to Figma and I created this one. Here you go. It's a little bit messed up, but you can see like so. This is what I want the pages to look like. So top 10 must reads for product managers, an image there, then a table of contents of the books themselves. Um, and then look here. So this is kind of a summary of the book, but then why should you buy and then why you shouldn't buy, and then what readers think about this book. So why should you buy and why you shouldn't buy? They can both come from ChatGPT here. What readers think about the book. What I'm gonna do is Goodreads has an API. I don't know. Yeah, so they have an
Yeah.
API that can give you a bunch of stuff on the book itself. But if you just go on like any book in Goodreads, you'll see reviews there, and you can just like try. This is open, right? So you can like scrape these reviews if you wanted to, and then so that's the way this part is populated, and then buy on Amazon link. And then so you repeat this for 10 books for each page, and you're good to go. And then at the bottom, there's some CTA. But this is my strategy of like how I'm thinking of bringing more traffic to SaaS space. So yeah, full breakdown.
I just had a great idea.
You have to, everyone's gonna be like, "What's a great idea now?"
No, I don't know if it's great.
Okay.
I just had an idea. Well, one thing I was thinking about when you were going through that was as far as like the topics or the kind of the product category, the
Categorization.
category.
Hmm.
Thank you. Of the books, you could probably get that list of categories from just the Amazon book.
You could,
Like
yeah, absolutely,
categories.
absolutely. Mhm.
Uh,
No, I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
gonna
Go ahead.
say,
Go
so
ahead.
those categories are great as well. But sometimes they might not be like everyone has a book on sales, for example, but you want to be like even more targeted towards a person. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. You can definitely get granular with it even on there. But what I was thinking, I think the bulk publishing sheet would be perfect for that. I'm not trying to sell that. I'm not. I'm
yeah,
really not. Like I'm experimenting. But instead of having to type out every single prompt every single time, you could have it just drag and drop in a
absolutely,
spreadsheet and it's
absolutely.
just done. But I think a cool thing that we could be doing would be like
Mhm.
coming up with an idea, like for the whole the podcast. Like, here's an idea. How could we execute that? And then kind of just walk step by step and like how we would be able to
Yeah,
create something like
absolutely. I
that.
think like
And then let people listen and
yeah,
be like, all right,
I
yeah,
think the hardest thing about PSEO right now is people don't know how to like start off with like I have a business. I don't know what will apply to my business. So more examples, the
yeah,
better it is. Everyone's like kind of talking about like what is
yeah.
PSEO, but I think once you see examples and once you see especially results, it's much more obvious. And like we're running a podcast. If someone copies this idea, who cares? Doesn't really matter. Like I'm not too.
Yeah, cool. Or we
Yeah, there
can.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, well, like a real talk, just to kind of establish, like, hey, here's so somebody's listening and they go, oh, that's not a
Right.
bad idea. I know a guy in the construction industry that wants to do this, and they have a basically
Mhm.
laid out plan. Let's
Yeah,
let them do it.
absolutely. By the way, you can do this same thing, what I just described, for any other niche in, you mentioned Amazon. Amazon is full of products. And what people are doing is
Yeah.
creating these like listicles, but you can kind of use the strategy kind of mentioned, like, take a product from Amazon, grab the categories from there, grab the reviews from somewhere, maybe even Amazon, create why people should buy, why they shouldn't buy, all those things. That's what makes like the PSEO isn't about just like grabbing a bunch of stuff that's already there, but it's about like enriching the information. So when person comes in, they don't have to like go through 10 sources to get the same information. It's just there in the one place, and it's like directly targeted to them. That's what it's about. So that's why it makes it so much better to when you mock up a page, like I do in Figma. I'm like, okay, if I was to read this page, would I be like, oh, I understand what's going on, or I know where to buy this book, or why should I buy this book? So I think it's worthwhile for someone to, if someone's searching or like thinking about doing this, is to mock up different pages and just go through the exercise of, if this page showed up for this query, would it make sense? But yeah,
Right.
no, I think let's maybe like next episode come up with different topics and then we can think about how to implement those.
Yeah. Like, and on the fly too. Like, not even like
Okay.
rehearsed. Like, let's
All
brainstorm
right,
this thing.
I'm down. I'm down. I actually have a bunch of ideas. I'll
Cool.
show in a little bit about like local PSEO. about like how to automate that part.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
gonna be fun. Yeah.
Let's
Uh,
let's get jiggy
okay.
with it
Okay.
right now.
Well, first we have to talk about like types of monetization. So like how do you typically monetize your PSEO? I think you have a specific way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm coming a little bit more from the affiliate space, so that's kind of top dog right there, just affiliate marketing. But I've also delved a little into display ads as well as my own products. So that's kind of the top
Do,
three
what
for me.
what networks do
Well,
you typically use to get them? And what are the like the click through and all those things?
as
Like what numbers are you working with right now? Like what are the affiliate numbers? I mean, not the how much are you
oh
making, but
man,
how much do a affiliate sale pay you per per like click through essentially?
what are you
Yeah, no,
asking me
no,
right now?
I'm
What are you
asking
asking
like
me?
what's the cut of the sale? So like if you send a person to buy a book and they buy a book, how much do you get the cut from Amazon, for example?
Oh, that's I try to stay away from Amazon as far
Okay.
as affiliate goes, which is why like I'm kind of the whole this energy drink site is probably not my normal forte. Most because you get like 1%, 2%, and on a
Yeah.
book, what's 1% of $2? You
Okay.
know,
That's
like
what I was thinking about.
yeah, yeah. But if a lot of the services I like to promote like SaaS or other services with some kind of recurring um, element, that's usually like 10, 15, 20% recurring, or anytime anybody spends money, 20%. That's what I'm looking towards. And then with the programmatic stuff, like because they're so bottom of the funnel, because they're so like, especially again affiliates side, it's do I want this microphone or that
Mhm.
microphone? They're gonna buy one at the end, so you might be looking at like 50% click through rates on those pages, and then conversions, 10 10% conversion rates. But the caveat is there's not a lot of traffic to those pages. Huge conversion rate, not a lot of traffic. So it's a
Right,
trade off.
right. So it's about like so SaaS. You said that's a massive number, by the way, going from like 1%, 1 to 2%. I think is that like Amazon specific that that's like so low? Okay.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I tried a couple a year or two ago making a books website like similar to what I was describing, but like handwritten all that stuff. And I applied to Amazon affiliates, and they're like we're gonna go to your website and like review it for content accuracy, all that stuff. And I'm like, you might as well just tell me like you're not gonna sponsor me, because it's not gonna be that great. But it sucks that it's like so low. SaaS, like you said, it might be a little bit better. I think Medium, by the way, also does Medium. If you Medium.com, if you write something there, not the same thing at all, but if you write something there and someone signs up, you get a cut of whatever they're paying, which is kind of cool. So yeah,
that's
if
convenient.
you write a lot more. But so affiliates is like the number one thing that you do. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah,
It's super hands off. Once you set it up, you kind of basically set it, forget it. Um, Affiliates. The one I go for is specifically SaaS. So what you do is you build the pages, so you build a product and then you build the pages for that product. And if someone comes to the page, they read the information at the bottom. It's a CTA for your product. So if you sell the product, you keep 100% of the revenue. So that's like SaaS, pretty lucrative because you're keeping 100% of it. But again, like you would have to build the product, all that kind of stuff. Um,
right.
that's two. The number three was sponsored listings. Have you ever done like sponsored listings?
Uh, tried to. I just think that the outreach part, the actual sales part of selling the slot, was
Okay.
my downfall. But yeah, I'm pretty familiar.
Yeah,
Maybe the
no,
people
it's
aren't.
sponsored listings is like I think it's cool, but it is like a lot of legwork to actually convince someone to pay you
Yeah,
first. So sponsored listing is you have like maybe top 10 books for product marketers, and then like the top result is an ad that someone else paid for. So they're always the top, and they're paying for that spot. But yeah, that's a good one as well if you can actually find people that would sponsor that. An example. I mean, let me think of an example. I don't know if they do it right now, but Nomad List has a lot of sponsored content, I think. So nomadlist.com. They have like a couple of sponsors that sponsor a particular block on the page itself. But it's like one-to-one deals. It's not you like talk to the person. You're like, are you willing to sponsor me? And this is where you would show up. They're like, yeah, we're willing to pay you X amount of money per month, per week, and then you put them up there. And then the last one, which someone told me on Twitter, and I completely overlooked this, is lead pages. So this is like if you so top 10 accountants in Toronto, you would create these pages, and then the CTA is book my consultation or book my haircut appointment. And these are leads basically capturing someone's phone number or email that you then provide or send to the actual business. This could be massive.
Yeah. So my job, I had a job board a few years back that I sold in the architecture industry, and one of the like, and just doing keyword research, I stumbled upon like this suite of websites. It was like SeattleArchitect.org, ChicagoArchitect.org, PhoenixArchitect.org, and they all are basically like, top residential architects, same shit you just described. Top, and then you scroll, and a pop up, some of the pop up was just like, enter your information if you're looking for an architect. And they had taken the top 100 cities by population in the United States and made pages for them, or whole websites around them. And I don't know what they're doing on the back end, but I'm guessing they're selling those leads to architects and saying, hey, you guys need customers, especially residential.
Here they are. Absolutely. I think like
Here they are.
going directly to the business like that, it can be absolutely like crazy lucrative. There's two reasons for this. One is nobody is actually serving your local laundry business, Coin Laundry. No one is serving, like, nobody, they don't know how to do SEO. They don't know how to build websites. My local barber has a Squarespace website, but the actual website that shows up on Google, it's like xbarber.squarespace.com. You know what I mean? Like, they don't even have a custom domain for it. So no, their go-to channel is like local foot traffic that comes in. They find them, but you as a PSU expert can engineer what people are searching for to get to these businesses, optimize the page for specifically that, and then capture the leads that are coming in. People put in their, either they can like say, take me to the website. You can do that, but like you're not making anything in the middle. You're just sending the person over to the phone number. A better way of doing it is you capture their phone number, you then sell it to your local business saying, I have 5 people that are willing to work with you. Could we do a deal where every lead I send you is like $50 a pop? Because for accountants, for example, accountants can do $1,000 per customer. If I know I'm going to get a customer that's going to spend $1,000 with me, I'm happy to shell out $50-$60 to you to get me the lead. So this is like a two-front win. One is nobody is serving these businesses, and the deal size is much higher. So no one is like competing on here. No one else in the area is like making PSEO pages for these people at all. And the third thing is, because you're going to be when you prepare these pages, you could copy information that's already available on their website, or just ask the owner of the business itself to like provide you high quality information, maybe images in the shop, hours you actually open, like if there's an appointment phone number, what is it? Stuff on Google might not always be up to date, but the owner obviously knows everything. So your page can be way more detailed than a Google, the profile that shows up for a business. And so there's a real way you can be the middleman in this local economy with PSEO.
Absolutely, and I think there's a ton of ways to kind of streamline that. Maybe talk to them on the phone, but then instead of getting all that information on the phone, get them to fill out a form. Fill out a Google form, then you have it all in a spreadsheet that can easily be, thrown onto a page. I think the thing to look out for is maybe, I know you brought up like coin operated laundry. I know that'd be a terrible example, and not to poo poo on it, but I know it's just kind of off the cuff. But it's like, if you're if somebody's listening and wants to go down this route, they'd have to be like, all right, what is a mid to higher ticket service. Coin operated launcher is typically, somebody's going to one based on location, not necessarily that, oh, this one's the best. This one has the best video games to play while
Yeah,
they have the arcade. But
Cap
yeah,
is
an
a good one.
accountant, architect, like
Yeah,
professional services,
legal services. Yeah,
perhaps a
legal services,
dentist,
dentists, all. Yeah, yeah,
legal.
those ones.
Yeah.
Like anywhere, because you're like gonna be, your pitch is gonna be that this customer is gonna spend X money with you, so give me X percent, like N% of the X to me. So if the like the amount they're gonna spend is like $10, you're gonna be making $1. Like that doesn't seem, for the amount of work you're going to do, that doesn't seem viable. Just go for a higher ticket one. You'll
Right.
end up making way more money, and the sale is much easier because you just have to go in and say, I can get you X customers if you provide me this information, and I'm going to send them directly to you every day when they come in, so you can close that business on your side. And because these people are already, like, they've already looked at the 10 businesses and then they've picked one and then they filled out their information on your page, they're 100% going to convert. There's no way they're not going to convert. So it's free money for the business. Um, but so yeah, it's a great sell. Funny enough, so I actually found a good little hack that I want to show you here, specifically to build out like
Oh
local
boy.
PSEO pages. Okay, let me show you this. Let me share my screen. It's hot off the press, so um, you know, see,
Buckle in, boys
buckle
and
in, yeah.
girls.
Okay, so when you create these pages, let me pull up like let me pull up what's it called? Fix.io. Okay, so this is a similar business. They got sold to a different company a bit ago, but this is like auto repair in X in city. But one of the things they realized was when they have the image of the actual city here, the conversion was higher. So you can see this is for one city, and there is this other city. The page itself looks the same. So now auto repair in this other city in Ontario, but the image changes, right? And then the rest of the stuff is kind of the same. What they do, customer reviews, and all that stuff. So if you're now doing this for accounted in this city, then you definitely want to have this element instead of a stock photo, a dynamic image here. Now, how do you create that? Are you gonna, if you're serving 1,000 locations, are you gonna do by hand? Not a chance. Not on my watch, dude. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So this is how we're gonna do it. It's a hard sell. Okay. So apparently Google has a really good. So by the way, before we even start, the credit of this goes to Jack Kaufman. He's the one that put me on this. I didn't figure this out myself. Yeah. So
Boom.
all credit to him.
Credits.
But yeah, so what Map Static API is, with a get call with like a URL, it can generate these kind of map images almost automatically. So let me show you what I mean. Where is it? Okay, so I'm gonna show somewhere here. Okay, here it is. So it says this example generates a static image for Berkeley, CA. So if I was to run this code, by the way, you have to like get an API key from Google Console. I'm not going to show that, but it's pretty easy to do. I think the document already shows you. But you add in your API key and then you run this URL. So I just actually copied this and then put my API key in there. And what it does, it outputs an actual image of the place itself. Now, if I want to go for a different city, all I need to do is just change this part, where it says center equals. So I'm going to go Toronto, Ontario, and this is now a map that's 1280 by 1280 for Toronto, right? And I can keep doing this for different cities. Not only that, there is a zoom level here. So if I go like super zoomed out, do zoom 6, it's going to zoom out and give me a picture of that. So what I basically do is I kind of zoom all the way in, because if you're serving a local audience, then they need to see the landmarks in the city. They're like, oh, you know, I know what Moss Park is, so I can trust this page. So yeah, so once you have these kind of like URLs here, this is cool because you can put on the top of the page as a featured image, but it doesn't look great. Like we can add some more treatment to it. So what I can do is take it over to Tailgraph. So Tailgraph, I don't know, I think we've shown this before on this show before, but it basically creates an image from a URL. So this is
Mm.
an image. If I click out, what it's going to say is if I run this in my browser, it's actually going to give me this image, right? What we can now do is in the background URL, I'm going to put in my static image. Sorry, static image, yeah, URL essentially in there. And the background is not going to be the image that I created. It's a little bit like it's like doing something, but I'm sure you can fix it somehow. Let's not dwell on that part. And then I would go here is top 10 accountants in Toronto. Do that, and that is going to change up there. And then to make it easier to read, add an overlay here. Add a background color to black. Make it opacity maybe 60. And I think we should change, yeah, so we should change the text color to white here. Yeah, so you get the point. It's gotta be a little bit, yeah, you play with
Yeah, you
it.
play with
But
it.
essentially what you're gonna get at the end is this massive URL. The cool part about this URL is if you just put it in your browser, you're gonna get the full image with the map and the treatment applied to it on top. And the only thing you really need to do is, again, find that wherever the Toronto's Canada is in the URL, change it, and you'll have an image for a different city. So what you can do is combine this with Airtable, and for every Airtable, make a formula to add in the different city, and then create these images, and boom, for every single city that you add in after that, using the formula, you should have a different image that you can embed to the top of your page. So this is a massive, like a great way to build trust with the pages that you create. Yeah, that's something I found very recently to do.
I don't know how to use Airtable, but I'm guessing it'd be a
Yeah, yeah.
concatenate
If your
formula.
Google Sheets,
The magic
exactly.
concatenate.
It's the same like whether it's in the Airtable or Google Sheets, but the idea is you're concatenating part of the URL, then the location, and the rest of the URL. But and the cost is I don't even know what the cost is because I never actually got billed for this thing. So it's and you're not doing it for like hundreds of thousands. You're only doing it for like 1,000 locations, for example. So I think you're fine.
Sure.
But yeah, if you're making PSEO pages for leads, this is the best way to go for it.
Money.
Absolutely.
Money.
Yeah. What else you got? We can wrap it
I
here.
think. I think maybe
All
we'll
right,
wrap it up.
that's sick, dude. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to put together the books pages. Maybe next time I'll be able to show what we have. Yeah. All right, let's end it here. See you guys.
Righteous. All right. I'm going to stop recording.